All right, hi there. So this is the video for Layer Mask Practice 1 if you're using Photopea. So if you're online and you don't have access to Photoshop, then I'm going to walk you through how to do this assignment. So for this assignment, we're going to take this picture here that we have. You're going to download it onto your computer or onto your Chromebook. And what we're going to do basically is we're going to turn it black and white, and everything on the page is going to be black and white, and then we're going to color back in the color on the flower. All right, so it takes a little bit of work. We're going to use a tool called a layer mask in order to do that. So first thing we do is download this picture of the flower. So again, make sure you go to the assignment, click on the picture, make sure you click on the download image button. If you right click and download, you'll end up with a tiny picture and then you'll wonder why it's not working for you. So make sure you click download image. So I'll do that. I'm sure I already have a copy of it, but we'll download it again anyways. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and go on to my browser and open up Photopea. So photopea.com. And for this one, we're just going to open it. So we're going to go File, Open. Find that file, which is called Flower Macro Donner Cropped. And we'll go ahead and hit Open here. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and turn it black and white. Now, there's a lot of different ways to turn it black and white in Photopea or in Photoshop, but we're going to use a adjustment layer because adjustment layer automatically comes with the layer mask. So down here at the bottom, we're going to click on this little half circle thing. These are our adjustment layers, and we're going to go ahead and choose black and white. So we want the black and white adjustment layer against a little half circle, then click black and white. All right, that turned our picture black and white. I'll go ahead and close the settings here. So this layer right here is our layer that turned the image black and white. See, if we turn it off, the image goes back to color. So we still have our color image there, but we have this filter being applied to it that turns it black and white. Now, if we notice next to the filter, we have this white box. This white box is what we call a layer mask. So with a layer mask, it's pretty interesting. The way it works is if you notice it's a white box, that means it's kind of like a white piece of paper. And anywhere that I paint black on that piece of paper, so let me go over here to my paintbrush, there it is. As you can see right here, right now my color is just set up as white and black. So if I want to switch it, I can press this little double arrow here button. I'll switch it back and forth. If your colors aren't black and white, you can click this little black and white square and it'll turn them black and white. So this is our primary color and secondary color. For this, we're going to want them to be black and white. So I am going to start off with the black. And I have my brush here. Again, remember I can go up here and adjust my size and my hardness. I'm going to set my hardness to about 80% for this one. And then the size is going to adjust based on how I'm working here. So there we go. All right, so when I go in, and I'll zoom in, so I'll hold down the control key and, whoops, the alt key, I mean, and zoom in a little bit on this flower. All right, and now as I work, I'm probably going to want to adjust the size of my brush. So again, I can do that by going up here and clicking and adjusting the size, or the shortcut to do that, there's a couple different shortcuts, is I can right click and the size comes up, or I can hit the bracket keys on my keyboard. So the bracket keys are right above your enter key. So if I bracket to the right, then it gets bigger. If I bracket to the left, it gets smaller. So anyhow, if you notice when I paint with black, you see what's happening, right? The color is coming back in on this flower. So here I am, I'm going to paint with black. People like to do a really small brush for some reason. So let's just do that so you can kind of see some stuff here as we get into it. But yeah, the cool thing is that when you paint with black, right, the color from underneath shows through. So anywhere that this image right here is white, then the filter is being applied. And anywhere that it's black, the filter is not being applied. So again, for this assignment, what I want you to do is go in here and paint the flower and the stem and the leaf of the flower back in color. All right. That's going to take some time. You're definitely going to want to zoom in and really pay attention to what you're doing. Right. So you can hold down the alt key and scroll up and down. That lets you zoom in. You also can adjust the size of your brush. That's going to be important, right? Now, here's the really important thing. You are going to be graded on how good of a job you do, so don't just rush through it. If you do it really quickly, it's not going to look very good. And you may think, oh, zoom out, right? Oh, it looks fun. So if I zoom in right here, you can see that I've kind of gone over the edge of the flower and it doesn't look so good, but you may zoom out and go, oh no, he'll never tell. Well, I will tell, because if we, first off, when you turn this in, I'll be looking for that. But if you were to go to print this and it printed out and you would notice this, it would look really bad. All right. So some tricks here to help you with this, some things that will really help you see what's going on here is, first off, if we go to our channels layers here, so we got layers, right? And then we got this tab that says channels. So if I click on channels, one thing I can do is I can click on this eyeball down here on the mask, and it'll highlight what I've colored in orange. So that kind of helps me a little bit. I can see I overdid here. So again, if I do too much, obviously if I painted with black, right? So actually I can turn off all the eyeballs here. So if I turn off the red, green, blue eyeball, you can see what the mask itself looks like. So the mask again is just this black painting on white, right? So anywhere I painted with black, the color shows through. Anywhere that's white, it's black and white. So if I go here and go, okay, so I overdid this too much. So what do I need to do? If I painted with black, right, to get the color, and I wanted to go back to black and white, so then I paint with white. So again, I can go over here and switch my colors, or the shortcut key that works really well for this assignment is just hit X. X switches your foreground color and your background color. So as long as you got those set to black and white, then you can go in here and start to clean this up. All right, so go ahead and take some time and just work through this. Again, turning on this mask layer will help some. Another thing that might help, sometimes is, again, turning off the red, green, blue layer. So if I just click on RGB here at the top, that turns all those off. And then I can see over here, all right, when I zoom in, oh, there's a spot right there that I missed. Oh, there's a spot right there that I missed, right? Oh, there's these spots over here that I missed. All right, so that kind of helps give you some clarity too. So it can kind of help you see what you've hit and what you haven't hit. All right, so it's gonna take some time, some finesse. You really want to zoom in and do a really good job. Again, remember, paint with black to bring the color back in. And then if you mess up, like right there, I did a little bit too much, but I might just go ahead and kind of, however you feel like working. Some people like to color the whole thing in real good like that, right? And if it bleeds over a little bit, it bleeds over a little bit, right? And then you come back with the white and maybe a smaller brush and then just kind of clean up the edges, right? So that's another way to kind of work, especially when you got this little section here, right? So you just kind of have to go back and forth. So there, I ended up erasing a little bit too much. So I changed my color back to black and paint it back in again, right? And it looks like maybe missed a little bit here. So I'll come back along and brush this in. Now again, I'm using a brush with a little bit of 80%, a little bit of softness, about 80% softness. That just kind of helps the edges get feathered a little bit. And I think it works well, especially for this picture. So you don't have just quite such a hard edge. So yeah, go ahead and work on this, and you're going to go ahead and, again, not just the flower, but I want the stem and the leaves down here, right? We want the whole thing in color. So do go ahead, and this will take you quite a while, right? Quite a while to do a good job. If you do a poor job and I see a lot of bleeding over or a lot of spots that are missed, you're not going to get full points. So please do take your time and get this flower all colored in. And again, everything else should be in black and white. And then when you get done, especially for those of you guys that are new, you want to go up here to File. Remember, export as a JPEG, and make sure you turn it in with like 80 to 90% quality. All right, keep the quality high. Actually, for this one, I want 100% quality. So when you save it as a JPEG, set your quality to 100%. All right, because I want to see all the fine details. So save it in high quality and then submit it on Schoology. All right, have fun. Good luck. If you do get done with this early and you got some extra time, you want to mess around, you could always download a photo of your choice and apply the same technique to it, right? So download something and then turn it black and white and then bring the color back in. All right. So it's kind of it's a pretty fun technique. And it can look really good if you do it right. The key is to, again, take your time, make sure that you're doing it right. Don't rush through it. You rush through it, it's going to look bad. It's not going to turn out good, especially if you went to print it and your edges were bleeding over. It'd be really noticeable. All right. So when people turn in their photos for like our photo competition here at the school, it's really noticeable if they do a good job or a bad job at this technique. So again, the thing I think that really helps is turn on this mask and then see there, even spots that I couldn't tell that I overdid it, I can now see, oh, I overdid it right there. So again, that mask is super, super helpful. Again, the X key really helpful for switching between the foreground and the background color. And in this scenario, we set those to black and white because that's what brings our mask in, right? And takes our mask out. All right. Good luck. Have fun. And we'll see you next time.